Prior to the start of the season, I told you here on the video report, and as I've told everyone in my 20-some years of doing this, that generally speaking, week 1 of the NFL, you lean toward the favorites because the lines are softest in the opening week of play, and it's the only time you have the advantage over the odds makers, as I've always maintained in every single sport in the opening week or so of play. But then, in week number 2, that's when the line makers adjust. And let's give them credit, guys. They are a sharp group, okay? They make mistakes, but 90% of the time, they're right there with the number, okay? They adjust their numbers. And something I warned you about in last week's video report, the betting public overreacts. They see the results of week number 1. They haven't really followed these teams during the offseason. They really didn't pay attention to the preseason. They overreact, and they lose their shirt in week number 2. Because of the overreaction and because the lines have now been adjusted. And I spoke about one of those particular teams and warned you about them last week, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. So how has it played out? Well, surprisingly, in week number 1, the favorites were not the way to go, as the underdogs went 8-7-1 against the spread. And in week number 2, as we go into tonight's game, the AFC North battle between the Steelers and the Bengals, well, it has played out exactly as I suspected. The toughest week, personally, I have always found to win in the NFL week number 2, well, the underdogs went 9-6, starting with the Thursday night cover by the Jets on the road and the Rain Bowl up in New England, and continuing right through yesterday's upsets. Now, listen, I was a very, very happy man, because yesterday I improved to a perfect 3-0 with my 15 dime best bets in the NFL. And remember, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15 dimes, okay? And I found you a favorite. It was a little bit of a sweat in the fourth quarter, but the Atlanta Falcons got the job done in the bounce-back game, which I told you was a must-win situation for the Falcons. After losing their opener at New Orleans, they had to beat St. Louis yesterday, and they delivered. So I did happen to find one of those favorites on the board. And I improved to a perfect 3-0, as I said, with 15 dime best bets by hitting my 6th football winner out of 8 football releases over the past 2 weeks. Hey, I'll take that. I have no complaints about 6 out of 8. One of the losses, well, unfortunately, was last Monday night when I went against Philadelphia. And the other loss was a half-point loser with Louisville that I personally endured on Saturday. So I am overjoyed, okay? But let me talk about one of those teams that I warned you about last Tuesday in the video report, Philadelphia, an overreaction play. Everybody saw what they wanted to see in that Monday night game against Washington. The Eagles just coming out and blitzing Washington offensively, with Chip Kelly's up-tempo offense just looking like the last greatest thing since sliced bread in terms of revolutionizing the NFL. What did I warn you? Defensive coordinators would suddenly now have tape on Kelly's offense. Defensive coordinators would adjust. I also warn you that the Philadelphia defense, as you saw in the second half of that game against a rusty RG3, was awful. Did not have the personnel needed to make the switch from the 4-3 to the 3-4 as they're doing so today, dropping a couple of former defensive linemen into the outside linebacker positions, and you saw Philip Rivers just exploit that defense, and the Chargers pulling the outright upset yesterday. And I'm telling you what, guys, a hell of a lot of people went down in flames with the Eagles yesterday. So that's why you have to be so cautious with overreaction plays. For example, I guess we aren't all crowning San Francisco as the next Super Bowl champion right this moment, because the team that managed to put down the Packers at home in week number 1 certainly looked pathetic last night, right? And I guess maybe the Saints, although 2-0, we shouldn't get too excited about New Orleans after they barely got by Tampa Bay. Oh, and I guess Andrew Luck and the Colts, the next new thing. You lost at home to Miami, and oh, by the way, how about those Dolphins, thanks to a soft schedule, but still open up with 2 straight road games against Cleveland and Indianapolis, and you're off to a 2-0 start. And did I not tell you also last Tuesday that I thought the Houston Texans were a fraud? They weren't a serious Super Bowl contender because their defense collapsed midway through last season. Didn't get any better, right? Barely winning yesterday after giving up 24 points through regulation to the Tennessee Titans. Cam Newton? No. This may not be Cam's year. Yes, I know everybody expected big things from Cam, but as I told you going into the season, Cam, there's a slight problem. He doesn't have a hell of a lot of talent around him. Yeah, he has D'Angelo Williams. Yeah, he has Steve Smith, and I'm still waiting for something else around Cam Newton. So these are some of the things you always have to be cautious about. The overreaction plays. And remember, the odds makers get paid to do this. It's why I often tell you guys, especially on college football Saturdays, it's often best to concentrate the most where the odds makers concentrate the least. It's because that is where you are going to find value. Now, let's talk about tonight's game and some of the promos involving tonight's Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. I can't go any further in this report. We're not talking about Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had one hell of a summer where he built up your NFL and college football bankroll, and he has certainly continued winning. Saturday cashed in with his sixth consecutive college football teaser, a 50-dime play on Texas A&M, getting the job done against Alabama, and Rice getting the cover thanks to the teaser at home against Kansas, right? Now, 28-12 with 50-dime releases over the past 3 months. That's baseball and football combined. Then, yesterday, he raised the bar. 100-dime mixed conference teaser of the year, delivered again, Baltimore and Green Bay. Today, here's the numbers that you have to be concerned with. Today is going for winning day number 38 out of 57. It's his 100-dime Monday night teaser of the year, your Cincinnati-Pittsburgh side and total. Understand, over the past 4+ years, he is 31, 13, and 1 with NFL 100-dimers, including 2-0 this season. Not only did he yesterday with the mixed conference teaser with Green Bay and Baltimore, but he opened up the season, remember, 2 Thursdays ago, with his 100-dime Thursday night total of the year, Denver and the over at home against Baltimore. This is also teaser winner number 36 out of 49. 36 out of 49 over the past 4+ seasons. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video report, Sean, like myself, Craig Davis, who cashed in with the teaser winner yesterday, Scott Delaney, we are guys that like teasers. I think Sean perhaps puts it best on his homepage when he talks about teasers. And if you haven't read it, as he's won 35 of the previous 48, you should read what he says about teasers. I couldn't agree more with the guy. Bottom line is this. Over the past 3 months, he's had 57 plays. He's gone 37, 19, and 1 with those selections. $10 bettors making $8,490. And tonight, 100-dime Monday night teaser of the year, Bengals Steelers side and total for Shawn Michaels. Craig Davis cashing in yesterday with a 50-dime teaser winner on the Texans and the Cardinals. That was a teaser winner for him, and tonight he got his third straight teaser winner, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. It's a 30-dime play, not quite as strong as Sean's. Bottom line is this, Craig Davis, since the end of the 2011 NFL season, $10 bettors up at $11,685 in that stretch. You want to save money, perhaps buying Sean's pick tonight or Craig's pick tonight? Well, guys, you can save $21.21 off a single purchase today at the site by using this coupon code, the word Blackjack. $21.21 off a single purchase. So why not use the term Blackjack as your coupon? Blackjack, Blackjack. That is going to be the promo. You want the total tonight, perhaps? Look no further than Brad Wilton, who has just been phenomenal with his total selections, winning 14 out of 20 over the past 3 months. And I say phenomenal because you've gotten 17 of those totals for $5 play of the day releases. And tonight, he has 60-dime winner, number 23 out of 33. His AFC North total of the year, you're over-under with the Steelers and the Bengals. And you can get it. It's the $5 play of the day. Just coming off a 75-dime winner yesterday, and the Bills outright over Carolina. The coupon code is BRAD5, BRAD5, B-R-A-D, and the number 5. Keep in mind, $10 bettors have won $8,205 the past 9.5 months. Oh, let me just check that. Hold on, guys. Is 9.5 months is right? I think there's a typo on the site. They have won, $10 bettors have won $8,205 the past 2.5 months. Excuse me. But hell, that's pretty damn impressive. Over the past 2.5 months following Brad Wilton's advice. Brian Rosica. Now, Rosica lost a big play on Friday night with Boise State. Boise State could not extend the margin, and they failed to cover at home against Air Force in that game. But he came right back out on Sunday, cashed in with his 80-dime winner, number 5 out of 6, I believe it was, with the Ravens holding off for the cover, 14-6 over Cleveland. $10 bettors up since his February debut of earlier this year, $9,380. And tonight he has 50-dime winner, number 5 out of 7, your Pittsburgh Cincinnati side. He is 70-48 since joining the site right after the Super Bowl. And again, $10 bettors up a little over $9,300. Now, as for me, I'm going to talk about the total for tonight's game and some interesting facts I uncovered about the side in this game. But to be honest with you, I think the best bet tonight is in baseball. And it's a 15-dime play. And again, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15-dime plays. And this play in baseball tonight, a run line release, just as strong as the Falcons yesterday. That's how much I like this play. It also happens to be the half price play of the day. I'm going for winning day number 10 out of 14. You get the play for half price by using coupon code. Are you ready? This is a tough one, guys. The word half. H-A-L-F. H-A-L-F. The word half. We're economizing on coupon codes today. H-A-L-F. I got to say verbiage. That's your coupon code to get my play today as the half price play of the day. Okay, listen, you know what happened in week number 15 a year ago. It's when Cincinnati beat Steelers and knocked Pittsburgh out of the playoffs and, of course, propelled Cincinnati into the playoffs. But the wins have been few and far between for Marvin Lewis and the Bengals in this series, especially playing at Paul Brown Stadium, where Marvin Lewis is 1-10 straight up as head coach of the Bengals against the Steelers playing at home. Jesus, not exactly encouraging. In fact, it happened long before Lewis came to town, too, because the Bengals have lost 12 of their last 14 home games in this series. And, of course, listen, you know, Ben Roethlisberger, as a starter since coming into the NFL, Roethlisberger is 14-5 straight up against the Bengals, including 9-1 at Cincinnati. And yet, his numbers are not phenomenal. 26 touchdown passes versus 20 interceptions. Andy Dalton, a so-so game against the Bengals last week. Problem with the Bengals last week. I'm sorry, against the Bears. Problem with the Bengals last week, 3 turnovers. Led directly to 2 touchdowns for Chicago. Then they also had a huge penalty that snuffed out a big punt return. So really, special teams and penalties cost the Bengals last week in that 3-point loss at Chicago. But Dalton, back at home, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception in his last 4 games. And you know that's the problem with Dalton. When he's accurate, the Bengals move the ball because he has a lot of weapons. I mean, you got A.J. Green, who had 162 yards last week receiving against the Bears defense. It wasn't too shabby, especially their secondary. And, you know, they went out, and the guy who I really like is the rookie running back. Let me just think of his name, guys. Like I always say, you know, it's live video. It's not like I'm doing this with my teleprompter here in front of me, you know, and I'm reading off the screen to you and everything. The kid from NC State, Giovanni Bernard. God, I like him. What a change of pace back. Had a great preseason. Strong performance in limited action last week against Chicago. I know they got the law firm there, Ben Jarvis Green, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you, I like him. I like their tight end, their number 1 pick that had the 5 catches last week against the Bears as well. You know, Pittsburgh losing at home last week to Tennessee. I think that was the biggest shocker in week number 1. It was a costly loss as well because they lost their all-pro starting center in that contest to a season-ending knee injury. And, you know, Ben was sacked 5 times last week. And you know what Ben's history is behind the offensive line. Can you imagine if you ever gave Ben Roethlisberger and Tony Romo good offensive lines, what these guys might do? Oh, geez, they might put up Peyton Manning-type numbers, right? So, listen, the bottom line is this. You got a 6.5 to 6-point line. It's a damn tough side selection. I got to tell you, I don't know which way to go. I mean, you got a must-win for both teams in this particular game. Must-win game. I don't know. I mean, my first thought was to take Cincinnati. Then as I thought about the game more, I thought, maybe Pittsburgh plus the points. Maybe this is a field goal game. My third thought was, the hell with this damn game. Bet baseball. It's so easy tonight. The 15-dime play, which you can get as the half price play of the day. Trust me, it's the best bet on the board. For your free selection, however, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this total at 40.5 points. I think this has under all written all over it. Yes, it could be a 24-17 game and we get effed. Okay, you know what I mean. But I think this is more like a 2017 game, a 20-14 game. I just don't see a lot of scoring here. I think the Steelers will be able to deliver defensively. You know, especially with Roethlisberger playing behind that battered offensive line, Mike Zimmer, the Bengals defensive coach, is going to bring the heat on him all night long. Steelers had no running game at all against Tennessee last week. And I think with the Steelers playing some good defense coming into this game as well, I think it has all the attributes needed for the under here. So that would be my free pick tonight, going with the under. Best of luck to you guys. And FYI, if you have not made the donation for the Charity Play of the Week, which won again on Friday night, thanks to Scott Delaney, what the hell are you waiting for? Scroll down the page, look at what all the information is there. You go to that link, you see that little picture, of that little girl who was born 13 days ago with spina bifida and her family. Her dad's in the Army. You'll see pictures of him on the site as well. They need some financial support. They're not asking for millions of dollars. They're asking for your help. You got the play. You gambled on it. I don't know what the hell some of you people's problem out there. If you don't contribute, may you get all the bad karma in the world possible, because you certainly deserve it.